What's going on, guys? Welcome to your second stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Saturday, September 19th. Now, there is a $1.5 trillion stimulus offer currently on the table from Steven Mnuchin, and Nancy Pelosi can either accept this or try to fight for more. Also, on Thursday, Senate Democrats Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren, they introduced a new proposal that would cancel federal student debt up to $50,000 per student. Yesterday, following the news that Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death, Chuck Schumer posted a tweet that read, "The American people should have a voice in the selection of their next Supreme Court justice. Therefore, this vacancy should not be filled until we have a new president." More states are running out of their $300 per week LWA benefits. All the while, 30 million Americans across the country are out of work. Many are weeks away from losing their jobs. Families are becoming homeless. Children are at risk by attending school in person, and Congress currently is away on a 3-day weekend. Again, welcome to your second stimulus check update. Hopefully, I bring you some good news and you can stay optimistic just like I am. Now, I am very optimistic that a stimulus package will eventually get passed. But all of this seriously makes me mad. This makes me mad because I am lucky enough, I am fortunate that this pandemic hasn't affected me very much. I have multiple businesses, multiple online businesses, so this pandemic has done very little to me financially. However, most people are not in my situation. Most people need money, need to survive, need to buy food. But where is Congress while all of these people are currently struggling? The majority of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And these are the people that Congress has said they really want to help. But why aren't they doing that? Why haven't they stepped up? Why haven't they given some stimulus checks to the people that need them the most? Even if it's not everybody, give a check to the people that need it the most. Why are we waiting? In my opinion, Congress needs to stop with their own personal agendas and finally pass a bill that could help out the American people. For instance, let's talk about personal agendas. For instance, a new proposal by Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren, just the other day on Thursday, they announced this new proposal. And I am all for helping out students, but why would they spend the time trying to get a new proposal or a bill at a time like this when the federal student debt is already being deferred? It's already being deferred, so why do we need an additional proposal at this time? In my opinion, it's a waste of time. They should have used this time to actually work on a stimulus package. Not only that, Chuck Schumer had this to say about their proposal. This is an exact quote. "We know that President Trump and Education Secretary Betsy DeVos have been totally against things like this. We understand that. But the next president could easily do this. We want to start getting people focused on this issue as a major issue that could be dealt with early next year." He is specifically saying he knows it's not going to pass with President Trump in office, but the next president could ultimately pass this. That's if Joe Biden wins. So he spent the time, him and Elizabeth Warren spent the time to introduce this proposal when they know it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Again, I'm all for helping students and all for education. Absolutely love it. However, Chuck Schumer said, and he said this multiple times, that he does not like the idea of a standalone bill. Yet, he keeps trying to pass them. He keeps proposing them. Now, if he isn't against a standalone bill. This is only my opinion. However, let's pass stimulus checks, unemployment, maybe PPP funding, rental assistance, and things like that. Throw in school funding, and let's throw in the student debt as well. Why don't we put that all together in a nice little targeted package, and let's pass that. At least it would get the American people the funding, the aid that they truly need. Many Republicans believe the only reason Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are against standalone bills is because that doesn't favor them currently, and they know state and local government funding would most likely not be included in a standalone bill or in a piecemeal approach. That's very true. However, we'll have to see what happens. Hopefully, if something happens, hopefully stimulus checks, unemployment, school funding, and PPP funding, and also rental assistance is passed, because if it's not, many people are going to be hurting if they are not already. Moving forward with new proposals that Democrats are trying to get through is going to make negotiations much harder. It's already hard enough. However, with new proposals, it's going to only get more complicated. Republicans already don't want to come close to $2 trillion for a stimulus package, but I don't see any other way than Republicans coming up to a closer number, maybe $1.8 to $2 trillion, to get a stimulus package before the election. It's almost unlikely that a stimulus package gets passed unless it's at $2 trillion or higher. All the while, Democrats are working on new proposals that could further complicate all matters. Now, here's the current offer on the table. Many people are hoping that the new problem solvers proposal would be made into a bill to eventually be voted on. However, that doesn't seem like that's the case. The current negotiations have Mark Meadows urging Republicans and Nancy Pelosi herself to use the problem solvers proposal as a roadmap to eventually come to an agreement on the final stimulus package. Nancy Pelosi says, and fellow Democrats are standing their ground. They will not negotiate any further without President Trump and the Trump administration agreeing to a $2.2 trillion package. However, and again, Steve Mnuchin has stated multiple times that him and Mark Meadows will not agree to a $2.2 trillion stimulus package, and they cannot get President Trump to agree on this as well if Nancy Pelosi does not reveal what will be in that package. This is why it is currently being reported that Democrats are supposed to be working on a Pare Down Heroes Act, which Nancy Pelosi can then reveal to Steven Mnuchin. Currently, the biggest hangup in the entire stimulus negotiations has and will continue to be funding for state and local governments. As of right now, Nancy Pelosi will not budge on her numbers. Now, let's talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg and how her passing could further complicate a lot of stuff, all right? So yesterday we got the sad news that Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away at her home in Washington. Within an hour of the news breaking, Chuck Schumer decided to post a tweet saying that the upcoming president should decide who fills the seat. I already read you that tweet earlier in this video. Although we have not heard anything yet about whether or not Mitch McConnell will fill this vacant seat, many expect him to allow President Trump to choose RBG's successor, even though we're only 50 days away from the election. Now, Mitch McConnell, he was asked about this in February of this year. He was simply asked if Ruth Bader Ginsburg were to pass away or, vacate the seat, would you fill the seat in an election year? And Mitch McConnell said he would fill the seat. However, when Democrats had this pretty much same situation happen years ago, I believe it was 2016, when they had this happen, Republicans urged them not to fill the seat, and they agreed. However, that happened about 9 months prior to the election. Right now, we're about 50 days away, and it takes roughly 70 to 80 days to get in a new justice. So we will see what happens. However, this can get complicated. I can't say for sure, but if the Senate allows this, then it could further complicate stimulus negotiations and the stopgap bill. So again, we'll see what happens. However, nothing's been said yet. However, I wanted to bring this to your attention because this is very important to keep our eyes on moving forward. All of this seems like wasted work. Everything from arguing about who's going to fill the justice's seat, also figuring out who or why we need additional student for federal student debt, pretty much gone, cancel it, when there's currently a student debt deferral and nobody's paying any of their student debt, right? To me, it's just wasted work when the real problems out there are still hurting and haunting Americans day by day. Now, let's address the COVID-19 news for today. According to Johns Hopkins University, we have now surpassed over 30 million cases worldwide. More than half of these cases come from the United States, India, and Brazil. Currently, cases are surging in France, England, Italy, and Portugal, and this will be very interesting to keep an eye on, as many experts predict that the United States could see a true second wave of infections during the later months of fall and into the winter. So we are coming up on that exact time frame. We will see what happens moving forward. So there you guys go. That is your second stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Saturday, September 19th. If you have any questions regarding stimulus, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, go ahead, smash that thumbs up button. Also, consider subscribing so that I can keep you updated on all things stimulus, and I'll see you guys on the next one.